Hello, today I'm making this video to show you how to calibrate your steering wheel, which would also be the same way as calibrating your gas pedal on a 1983 Bally Spy Hunter arcade machine. Upright or cockpit, doesn't matter. It's going to be done the same way. And they have first of all, what you have to do is, right now the game's in a track mode, and I purposely set it incorrectly so you could see what we're talking about. So you start the game, and let me see if I can get the steering wheel at the same time. So what I did is, like, okay, so you're out here, you let go of the steering wheel and the thing's always pulling to the right, you know, or it could be pulling to the left. Doesn't really matter, but basically what happens is it's out of calibration. And you're like, okay, so how do you fix that? So what you got to do is open up your coin door. Inside your coin door, you will see some buttons there. You got one that says test, the black toggle switch. It says test here. Flick that. And if you're playing a game, you got to hit tilt. Or just turn your game on and off and have the test switch on, and it'll pull up this screen. You have to get to this screen. So first thing you can do is say, okay, well, what's going on? Let's check out player input. Use the thumb buttons to actually move the thing down, and then push the weapons van button to select it. Okay, so this pops up, and it says that I am, right now I have my steering wheel basically centered, okay? But it says that I am right 3. My gas pedal's at 0, which would be right, and my gear shift's on low. This is where you can also just push buttons, push like weapons van, and it says weapons truck, or you push like the left thumb button, it says oil slick. This is where you test your buttons. But the problem is like at right 3, I'm going to move the steering wheel to the left, and they're centered. And it's like, okay, well, how do I get that thing centered? Which is what you want. So on the bottom here it says hit tilt to exit. A lot of people have the tilts deactivated, so you just have to turn the game on and off in that case. So I hit tilt, which is basically a reset. I want to go down to pot calibration. So I can push like the right thumb button, and that jumps it up to number 9 there. Hit the weapons van. Okay, steering wheel calibration. Select that one by pushing the weapons van button, and it says center the steering wheel. Okay, so take your steering wheel, knock it back and forth a couple times. Try to get it centered so it looks centered. If it's way off when you're doing that, then you got to replace your springs. Your springs are what bring this thing back to center. If you've got like one jacked up spring and one that's good, go to the hardware store and get 2 springs. They don't have to be the originals, just something that is going to pull both ways so you can get that sucker back to center. A lot of times the metal is all shot on these, and you can just buy little plastic O-rings at the hardware store for 20 cents and stick those in there, and that works good. By the way, this is the pot that we're calibrating. Now you can physically adjust it by loosening up these screws and twisting it, but you usually don't ever have to do that. That's something else. Most likely it's fine, but what we're just doing is calibrating it in the game itself. And by the way, your battery pack has to be good and working for this to maintain. Otherwise, every time you turn the game off, it'll reset it back to whatever it has as its original. Okay, so it says that the value of the wheel should be 8C. It's not going to be 8C. It'll be close. You can see as I turn it left and right, this wheel value, keeps jumping up and down as I turn the wheel. You don't have to get it to 8C. What you want to do is just get it to, what you think is centered. So that way when you're playing the game, when you let go of the steering wheel, it goes straight. So for me, it looks like about 8F would be centered. So I'm going to hit the weapons van button. Okay, and the gas pedal would be the same way. You go down to gas pedal, calibration, hit the weapons van. The gas pedal value should be OB. Mine's OD, which is close enough, but as you push the gas pedal, it changes. Alright, is all that is. And usually the gas pedal's fine. So let's get out of here. Okay, and go to exit, weapons van button, and now let's go back to player input. How before it said right 3, now it says centered. And when you push the gas pedal, you know, sometimes it'll jump to the right 1 or left, depending on your two pots interplay with each other. Now there's a little bit of adjustment you can do with that. Like I just pulled to the left a hair and it didn't do it, so you can play with your pot calibration, but don't worry about that. Unless when you push the gas pedal, all of a sudden it says like right 3 or something, you need to, you may need to work on something else. Alright, so I'm hitting tilt to exit. I'm all done here, so I'm going to go back into the cabinet, take it off of test. I'm back to my game. Gonna coin it up. And whereas before when I pushed the gas pedal and let go of the steering wheel, the sucker pulled to the right. Now I let go of the steering wheel and it stays straight. And that's how you calibrate your steering wheel on Spy Hunter.